some bound in chains. Through battles waged and fought, through victory and pain, by test of their courage, our freedom was gained. In homage to those gone before us, the heroes of lands in the sun, we vow to join hands and to focus on building one Caribbean. Raise your voices high, sing of your Caribbean pride.
Welcome, brothers, welcome, sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can immediately pick up your telephone and give us a call. The number to call is 442-0175. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything: politics, religion, socio-economic issues, any topical issue, any issue trending. And this is the Easter weekend. In fact, today is Tuesday in the octave of Easter. So Easter is a season, and that goes on right on to Pentecost. The Catholics operate on a number of other Christian churches from season to season. And the Easter season is the most important season in Christianity. In fact, Easter is the most important period in Christianity. For if there was not a resurrection, our faith is in vain. If you have no Easter, then the Catholic faith is in vain. So they pay special attention to Easter. After the period of Lent and then the Passion and etc., and Easter is a joyous time. It's a happy time. You find people celebrating. Obviously, the commercial houses make maximum use of that opportunity, and rightly so. You know, if you're in business, every opportunity you should make use of it. But people should have a new attitude, you know, a more pleasant, forgiving, generous attitude, because you have every reason to be happy. So this is Easter. The number to call is 442-0175. We cannot ignore the fact that we had COVID-19, that we have COVID-19, that we're trying to manage COVID-19. COVID-19 is considered endemic. Generally, it is here to stay for a long time until we manage it to the extent where we don't have to bother. And sometimes I say the policy now is who dead. That might sound pretty harsh, and it's not words that would be used by the medical fraternity. But they would tell you now it's individual responsibility. The best option on the table, based upon the best medical minds, is the option of taking vaccine, of trying to make top hygiene, because the disease could be passed from one person to the other, particularly if you're within a 6 feet radius. So now they cannot lock down country. The governments of the world and the governments of the Caribbean have locked down the country enough. They say when we did not have an option, we did. Now we have. The best option available is to take vaccine. Particularly people in the most vulnerable group. If you're over 60 years, if you have comorbidities, if you have underlying problem, if your immunity is compromised, if you're young but you're asthmatic, We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Hey, good afternoon.
Yes,
Mr.
my
Pierre.
brother. Welcome.
How you enjoy your
Great,
Easter
man. It was a
holiday?
good Easter. Yeah.
Thank God for that, man. Thank God for life. I
Yeah.
will say, if there wasn't a resurrection, there will not be life after death. Eh?
No, based upon this Christian belief, if there is no resurrection, then our faith is in vain.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, Mr. Pierre, I looking from outside to in. I'm looking at let's say I'm in Grenada. But when you look at the performance and the track record, you could see definitely they are different. I'm not saying the other side of love, alright? But I always say, like, you cannot defranchise one for the other. Every hungry mouth has to be fed. And if you have to take out from one who are less to give one who are more, it is unfair. It is unfair. And I do believe HIV one had to be fed. HIV, the government had to look out for everyone. I always say the decline of the government is not a good for people, but every Grenadian, the government is for every Grenadian. Them who work in, them who don't work in, the government has to find for them. Because nowhere else in any country you go find everybody working, and nowhere in any country you go find everybody employed by a government. What the government have to do to make environment right in the private sectors for the private sector to employ. You cannot pressure at the businessmen in the country. You have to work along with the businessmen. The businessmen have to work along with the government to employ people that they are unable to employ. And I do the government is on that track to reaching out with the private sectors to provide jobs. Even if there is some money that they get trained from the private sectors. So it is up to the private sectors now to whether to keep them or not keep them. You cannot say to the private sector, you have to make them permanent. That's the right of the private sector, whether to keep them, whether not to keep them. I want to say again, when you look at the competent of NMP party, candidates, they have a track record. Of delivering. And the greater people could see clearly, we don't need glasses to see what they are doing. Now we sometimes say, yes, could forgive, but you cannot forget what somebody said to you. Now someone will come and say, I love you. Alright? But then before they say, I love you now, what they said to you. So you are in a junction when someone said, I love you, but they try to deprive you from a work, and they will do that for you. We have to be careful what we say. You see, life and death is in the power of the tongue. Okay, in the power of the tongue. You cannot call them people needy and greedy. It threatens the road wardens that they are illegal. You will send them home. And now we come and say to them, vote for me, you will make them permanent. But see, when we say make them permanent, we are not permanent where? Permanent out of a job or permanent working? So we have to be careful. And not everything that sounds nice and rosy is true. Right? I remember Mr. Bola said, I'm not going to tell you we could promise you the world. Because I always say to men, any woman who tell any man that tell a woman, they could promise them everything. This should never be, because man who had the means to provide everything. I'm not going to try to do what he could do. So when people promise you everything, if they go do that, they go do that. You have to ask the question, where will the money coming from? And if you want to make everybody permanent, and you want to build the country, you cannot only build people, right? But yes, you have to build people, but you also have to build other things. You have the health center, you have the Ministry of Agriculture, road, other things, so you have to reach out and help those who are working. So people in Grenada, we have to be careful when people can't tell what they go do, right? You have to ask the question, where will they get the money? So Mr. Pierre, have a blessing.
Yes, scholar, thank you very much. Sometimes when a man promise a woman, she believe him. And you can see the man do wrong to promise you. Because sometimes it's promise that end up making both of them comfortable. So the man promise the woman, take everything and giving you everything you want. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, welcome to you, Mr. Pierre. How do you today?
Yeah, good to hear your voice, brother. Welcome.
So how was your long weekend Easter holiday?
It was great, man. You know, Easter is one of the most important points in our Christianity.
And that's a long tradition, you know, when Christmas finish, Carnival finish, that.
Yeah, but Easter is more important. Easter is more important to the church than any other celebration.
Yeah, but I'm saying, no, we fly kite right to the air, right to the season, right to the time. This is a tradition thing.
Well, the weather is good, eh?
Yeah, what I call about to talk about today, can you just, for me, please, I always used to throw it out on We FM, but We FM did not work in this morning.
What you need to do is to punch.
Okay, well, I want the farmers and them to know that they'll be buying wheat in Carrier, and today that they'll be buying in Pinesfield. So I want to tell you farmers and them.
Countryman,
yeah.
Why didn't you make that announcement last week? Now this is Countryman. We have one day in this week gone, is a holiday, Monday. So the majority of people who did not know would not have picked cocoa. And now you informing them no. So they have only Tuesday and Wednesday.
Mr. Pierre, okay, listen to me now. They just come and mark it up on the board, and they came the Thursday evening or Thursday night late. And you know that Friday was a holiday and Monday was a holiday. So I did not get a chance to inform the farmers.
So when you knew, Cultureman, when they mark it up on the board?
I think it was Thursday late evening, that when I passed in.
So what, Cultureman, do you think this is right? In the cocoa sauce, huh?
Yeah.
To mark it up on the board? Thursday evening?
Mr. Pierre, it have a notice board in Carver which they could mark it still. Now I mean people who pass in, now I mean in the community, now I mean that they'll say okay that they will buy wet cocoa in Carver so and so time and so and so date. So I see no big deal in that. But any case farmers that will be buying wet cocoa tomorrow in Carver. And Mr. Pierre, thank you for your time.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, still thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you very much.
Still thank you for your time.
Yes, thank you very much. This is what is amazing me about a cocoa association that is in existence so long. Independence Week, I think Independence fall on a Sunday or something. So the Monday was a holiday. They bought cocoa that period of time. So the farmers in that area only had 2 days to function. And bearing in mind, a number of farmers would not be able to finish pick the cocoa, and you have 1 day off. And they do the same thing this week. And they mark it on the board in the night. Cultureman said they mark it in the night. So the Cocoa Association doesn't take time off. Remember, they don't put up a roster. So not to say when you go and purchase, when you go and sell cocoa, you could see on the board what are the times that they're buying cocoa, even if subject to change. And this week is a short week because yesterday was a holiday. So the farmers that did not know, they didn't get an opportunity, they didn't go and watch the board, they didn't hear Cultureman, they would not know they're purchasing cocoa. And for the life of me, I want to know why cocoa management is doing this thing. Why in God's name the management of the Cocoa Association behaving so as if in the 1950s? Year before people knew, they knew that during the cocoa season, Cocoa Association buy cocoa every 2 weeks. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
And good afternoon to Grenada. Mr. Pierre, what you are saying there, I have said that to the Cocoa Association years ago when I was a cocoa.
Well, gentlemen, why you think they're behaving like that? Because, I mean, everybody, most people you speak to is amazed.
Mr. There is something wrong with the management and
So, and I've been saying that, I personally said that in a cocoa meeting, it is in the minutes. Even the, well, there's nothing wrong in that, but you should have somebody who is working there, who is an extension officer or officer there to authorize these things. And
But-
it is not happening. It
but
is not happening at
Why-
a million times.
Why can't they make a roster? Because, I mean, this thing is doing over and over. So even when a farmer go and sell cocoa, he could know what is the next period of time when they're buying, subject to change.
A gentleman, he died, what we call his name, Mr. Campbell, Clarence Campbell, was an officer of the association, inspector of cocoa.
You kind of low.
Inspector of cocoa. And for some reason, the general manager had sent to tell the person that buy cocoa in Diamond, in St. Mark's, don't purchase. But farmers didn't hear that. So farmers bought the cocoa and bring the cocoa. And Miss June was forced to take it through Mr. Campbell. Campbell was issued a resignation letter. But he after him wrote his own. That time Mr. Charles was in charge of the board. So it's not now this thing going on. Not now it going on.
So why all these bright people behaving so badly?
Well, perhaps
This is bad management.
I have said it at home.
This is treating the farmers with contempt, disrespect. What is happening is a number of farmers, they're just neglecting the cocoa field, you know. Some of them planting sauce up between the cocoa rows, you know.
Mr. Pierre, I happened to pass you Bylands, Maribor, Lafosse, Windsor sometime last week. And the cocoa fields are in a very deplorable condition. We are talking about opening a next factory. We are talking about, we have 5 or 4 cocoa factories in Grenada. But the cocoa fields are in a terrible condition.
Well, when Cocoa Association have this attitude that you cannot finish from week to week, particularly people who have more than one parcel land, or they cannot finish pick the cocoa. Because sometimes you have to have a temporary labor.
Yeah.
And the notice you get is so short. So how do you expect people to be investing in the cocoa fields?
You remember some time ago on your program, the gentleman that I know knock with me when I said that on the estate long ago, you had to pick cocoa by the basket. They pay you for the basket of cocoa, 3 baskets for in seed, for a task. But you had to pick 7 baskets in to make 1 basket in seed. So 7 baskets in pod to make 1 basket in seed. And a basket in seed was 80 pounds of cocoa. So a woman would have to carry, if they overset her, she's taking 3 baskets, 3 sevens, 21 basket of cocoa in pod. In those days, that was the days of estate. And you have to bring that where the truck could take it and the person measure it to make sure that you have a flush basket of cocoa. That was the rule. And when I said that, a gentleman on your program tell me wrong, and you was able to support and say, you know of that.
Well, basically, there are some issues you don't argue with people because if they don't know, they don't know. So anybody that work in cocoa or any farmer would know the ratio is 1 to 7.
Right.
And some farmers, there are some women that was so good, they used to bring 1 in 6 because they put in a crown on the cocoa, on the basket of cocoa, and they holding 2 or 3 in their hand.
Yes.
So when they go 6 times, they say equivalent to 7. But you have to be in the field to know that.
Exactly.
So some things you don't argue with somebody who you don't have a clue about.
It is not now these things going on in the thing. And it seems to me that it's time that the cocoa and nutmeg unite as one with field officers, because they don't have no field officers right now.
But these individuals from the top, what is so hard about providing adequate information when to harvest. In this modern day, you're going to write it on board. People coming from Broad Grove, Paraclete, Hermitage to bring cocoa in Carrier, you're going to write it on a board? In this modern day and age?
You remember in the days of banana, every Sunday, the farmers used to sit down by the radio
to listen to it.
Listen when there's the cutting days for banana.
They had it on special hour, giving radio program. Cocoa Association could put that on the news. They had a special hour.
So I have been saying these things over and over.
So why this? My question is, why these guys with this briefcase of certificate behaving so backward? This is crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
And I'm a cocoa farmer too. And I just here to buying cocoa. So obviously I cannot master workers to go and fight to pick Wednesday. So I have to call it off for the week. So the cocoa remaining from week to week, either you don't finish peak. I don't know if they don't want plenty cocoa. It could be a ploy, you know.
Well, if they don't want plenty cocoa, why open the factory for?
But the factory is not theirs. Is theirs again?
Yes.
The Cocoa Association opened another factory?
Yes, in Moncton. They say that was for white chocolate.
I couldn't believe that.
Well, try and believe it.
Well, these guys don't have to be crazy or extremely stupid. How could you have an organization of that long history and they're behaving so infantile? This thing is rudimentary. It's not hard for you to understand. I don't know.
And the accountant told us a few years ago that they made $35 million in 5 years, but the farmer at treating the cocoa is worse off than.
Well, they're correct. If they're making 35 million, they should open 2 more. Nothing is wrong. It means they're making money.
All right.
Yes, caller. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yes, we had a reading from one of the sisters on Facebook. And she responded to the issue of COVID-19. She said it's an individual responsibility. In 1995, I traveled around South Korea. I noticed people wearing masks. I inquired, why are they wearing masks? They answer, some people's immune system is weak. Hence the reason for the mask. For me, Mr. Pierre, I don't need a government or CDC to tell me to wear a mask. I will continue wearing mask if it becomes a lifestyle, so be it. And this is from our sister, Christopher Bell. And caller, we call on the line. Welcome.
Yeah, Culture Man recently, sometime last week, was saying that how he didn't see the new agricultural minister. And I was also listening to other farmer, I think from Karakou, she was calling, I think on GBN, saying the same thing, that she met Peter David and he said he was going to come to Karakou. So it appears to me that I don't know, I'm not judging it. It appears to me that Culture Man and other person is correct when they say that they're not seeing Peter David. So I really don't, I just reporting what I say. So Peter need to do better than that, you know, because I remember the senator, what's his name, the new senator in the Senate.
Sinclair.
Sinclair. I find he does try. I have no problem with that. I find he does try, and he has been articulating quite clear views of the farmers. He's a good representative, and I remember saying every time it's a consultation, if it's not in Grenville, it's in Day and in how you call it by Ramdani, but every time it's a talking. You know, and it's time that they really give the agriculture sector instead of stop giving lip service, because I didn't really get the gist of the whole conversation. I kind of got thing late on the guy before, I think it's clear, but he's a very passionate person, and when he tells you something, he says something, because sometimes I get the feeling that he's not really generally happy with the government's input into agriculture, and not only that, don't talk about the farm watch, not the farm watch, the pre-deal larceny. I don't know how they could solve that problem. If probably they might have to see, they could put cameras. The government probably might help the people to put cameras in their, what you call it, on the farms. Because right now there's an allegation going on that some white truck going around collecting people's soursop. An allegation again that it's gone to the traffickers and people losing a lot of soursop. That is a very good commodity for export for Grenada. So I'm just saying, with all, no, in non terms of maliciousness, I think that Peter David, yes, you are the minister of new government that we pay in you, and you're elected to serve as a minister, to be entrusted with the things of the farming of this country. And I think, from what I'm hearing, I think people need to see you a little bit more hands-on. Stop the talking, and the government need to pump more money seriously into agriculture and stop giving lip service. Thank you, Kennedy.
Yes, my sister, thank you very much. You had a meeting in the cinema recently to deal with pre-deal larceny. The police was there, the minister was there. I don't know if Cultureman attended that meeting. So, but if he did not attend that meeting, you will not see the minister there. I don't know what other occasion the minister have. I'm just a part-time farmer. So I'm not particularly interested in seeing ministers or anybody from agriculture. I'm just a part-time farmer. I know the minister was in the cinema because I attended that session on pre-deal larceny. And the question of pre-deal larceny, I said, I think we're making too much of issue on pre-deal larceny. Pre-deal larceny is only 3% of the crimes in Grenada are pre-deal larceny. And the police said there was a 20% drop in the amount of cases. I believe that the police should do some work on the demographics of the people involved in pre-deal larceny. What percentage of these people are mental cases? What percentage, it seems or appear, or the police have the track record, been to the mental institute, drug addicts? What percentage of the people doing pre-deal larceny are themselves farmers? And what percentage exit secondary school without the minimum qualification? I believe the police should do the demographics and publish the information, because we could drop, it is 3% now, but I believe we could seriously drop the cases of pre-deal larceny. Some of the farmers themselves are involved in pre-deal larceny. Some farmers are not spending enough time in the land, particularly full-time farmers. The teacher goes to school for between 8 and 4. The construction worker, the people in the hotel industry, some radio personnels, almost all over the day they're on radio. The farmers are not spending enough time in the land. And a number of things the farmers could do to restrict the incidence of pre-deal larceny. For instance, some farmers within a particular location could work together. The farmers could have dogs. If a farmer has 2 dogs and he give it some form of training with the help of veterinary, that could help. And 4, 5, 6 farmers working together could seriously reduce the incidence. So a lot of times we're doing as if we want somebody come from outside to solve problems. The problems could solve within easier, much easier. 4, 5 farmers close by could work together, because some of the farmers are themselves destroying one another. You know, I think in a lot of instances we need some think tank among farmers. What is it the farmers want? What is it the farmers want the government to do? Sometimes I get the impression that the government don't know what the farmers want, and the farmers themselves don't know what they want. Farmers have concession to purchase vehicles and agriculture tools and equipment. Farmers are provided with extension service, and some of them are not using the extension service because they have no faith, no confidence in it. I say to them that an extension officer is like a conduit. It brings information to you, it brings information from you to the government and other relevant bodies. They provide technical assistance on you. And if you have 2 or 3 good farmers in an area, the other farmers could visit them with their permission and work with them. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Good day, sir.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
How was the weekend?
Great, man. It was another good weekend.
I had a quiet weekend. I sleep a lot.
Yes, that's important for a hard-working man.
Good to hear you back. What I want to... Oh, first of all, Sunday the launching continues, so the thing now starts. I mean, the politics now starts. So most time I call you, you're going to be on the...
No problem, man. We welcome politics too.
I'm glad you say we could speak about anything.
Anything, and we welcome politics.
Sunday, we move to Sotes Bus Terminal. We want to launch our 2 winners. I call them winners because they perform.
Potential winners.
Nobody taking their place. Nobody taking their place because they have what it takes to win. This morning, I will say, and I join you because I heard you say it before, one of the best programs the government of this country instituted, the Imani program. This morning, I see a whole group of Imani walking the road, telling me they are caregivers. I said, what position they hold? They're going to take care of the disabled. And that is a plus. That is a blessing from God. Imagine a government seat fitted to put a number of young people to go to a man who may not have a wife, his children may not be around him, the children may be abroad.
You have to be careful. You have to be careful. They're just sending people to go and visit man or a wife, you know. to go and take care of sick people.
They go and take care of
They go and take care of the sick. You say the man or a wife as if they're sending people for him. That is not the intention.
Well, it's just not because he's our wife.
Not right. To what?
So, the people happy. And I met with some elderly, some disabled, who they love the people that come in around them. They love the girls. They take good care. They comb their hair. That is vision by the new National Party. This program is one of the best programs I ever seen in 100 years in this country. And I'm telling you, nobody cannot challenge that program. I don't like the other side to be fooling them. But everybody would not be able to be permanent. I heard somebody say on your program last week that the Imani, some of them is contracted. They could get loans. There was a fund available for that. But the other side telling them, to have a work you can't get loan, it don't make sense, and trying to thief the brain. But I don't think that's going to work. So I'm saying that the new National Party, and we're launching 2 candidates, 2 winning candidates, Pamela Moses, bring luck to St. Patrick East. We have a new candidate, Anthony Boson College today, and we have a new caretaker who will be launching on Sunday, and he will be picking up from where Anthony Boson left out. And St. Patrick will be a place to live in. St. Patrick will come back on the map because it's one of the most historical parish in this country, but we was lacking a bit, but we want to make a difference this time. So
thank you, Colonel.
I really want to thank the political leader for seeing vision to bring good people, people who have the energy, people who have the love. So, well, Pamela not new, but she have it. She have motherly love, she have fatherly love, so she's going to continue to deliver to the people of Rosedale, River Sally, Karalu. Imagine Moncton have a university for the first time. Imagine how many things people said to me. They never thought they would have seen a good gap. They have a driveway in their life before they die. So they lucky bring on good representation. So I am saying, these two people will be back in the parliament of this country. So I put it, I asking people who have eyes to see, let them see. Who have ears to hear, let them see. The new National Party is the party for the people, and they work and they deliver. I thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, gentlemen. It's always important for a parliamentary representative to seek the interests of the constituency. Now, some people believe that if you're living in Ticolo, you have to care whether they build a Deepwater Harbor in St. George's or not. The people from Ticolo, sometimes they don't have to care. What they may care about is the development of the community. And this is why a small country like Grenada have 15 representatives. So that the representative would lobby central government to do things in their community. I say it's very important that the government in Grenada is cognizant of the fact that you must provide assistance for the people who in the lower economic strata. The people who in the higher economic strata, all they need is the enabling environment. Once you provide an enabling environment, these people could survive and thrive and do well. But the people in the lower economic strata, they need more. And this is the challenge you have in politics. Some politicians believe we must help the rich. And when the rich get rich, they will help the poor. No. You create the enabling environment for those who have what it takes, have the stick-with-itiveness. Those who have that, they will succeed. All they need is the enabling environment. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Happy Easter to you, Mr. Pierre.
Thank you, sister. Thank you very much.
Near and far. And I hope that we continue to love and serve each other and reach out to each other as we celebrate the resurrection of our Savior. I just want to say congratulations to all of the young people who represented Grenada over the weekend at the Carista Games. They did us well, they did us proud. Continue to raise our flag and make us proud wherever you go and represent. You're on the big stage. We say take a bow to all those who have worked with you and your parents who have supported you over the years. We say thank you, and to those in authority who have provided the assistance so that you can travel and represent us. We say thank you, continue to do well, and everyone continue to be each other's keeper and support each other. God bless you, Mr. Pierre. Have a great day.
Yes, we have two comments on Facebook that I want to read. One of them, a farmer saying farmers stealing from farmers. Yes, that is true. And the police too have to help to encourage farmers to work together. If you have 9-10 farmers in a particular location, the police have to encourage these farmers to work together. The farmers are to call police because it's their children and their workers are doing the robbing. So all they have to do is to work together. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Thanks for taking my call, Francis, and good afternoon.
Yes, my brother.
Francis, on the issue of agriculture, the question I'm asking this afternoon is who failed who? Because nutmeg, we put nutmeg in the hands of the farmers. Cocoa, we put it in the hands of the farmers. Banana, we put it in the hands of the farmers. And look at where we are today. The question I'm asking, who failed who? Thank you, sir.
It is a very interesting question, and I like to answer by saying, we fail us. I think we failed us. And I'll give you an example. NIS for farmers. What prevents us from having a program where farmers could pay NIS. I blame the National NIS Board. I believe the farmers' organization have done badly. And I believe the government has some responsibility. And I believe the extension officer didn't do a good job. So that is why I say we fail us. And let us talk about NIS for farmers. Most of the farmers don't pay NIS. Now, if a farmer is selling cocoa, why can Cocoa Association determine to the farmers, we're going to pay a minimum of $1,000 for you or $500 or whatever, based upon, because the association knows what is the farmer productivity for the year. So they know what is the farmer's payment should pay for NIS for the year. And they can work with NIS. So while they collect the money from NIS, they pay to NIS in lump sum. So as the farmers sell cocoa, you make the deductions. If 3-4 months pass, the farmer didn't sell cocoa, you could easily inform that farmer what happened. You should be picking your cocoa, because these things are very computerized now. So in that sense, the Cocoa Association and the Nutmeg Association should be making certain that NIS is paid for the farmers. The National Insurance Board could have come up with a model, come up with a template, discuss it with the board, and show them how to implement it. We have to solve the problems in the country. We continue to complain. The farmers have their association. But obviously, the cocoa board and the nutmeg board, traditionally, they're behaving as if them is a political pressure group. They have to get it in the thick head that their business is to seek the interests of the farmers. To make certain the farmers pay NIS. If you 50 or 55 years, then perhaps it makes no more sense again. But you have young people 30 years, 20 years in farming. They are selling cocoa on their name. The Cocoa Association knows after 1 year what is the production level. This thing could be computerized. And you could determine if you have 12 payments of NIS. Okay, we put them in $500 bracket. We put them in $1,000 bracket. We have them in $2,000 bracket, and NIS be paid for them. This is not magic. This thing is simple. And if the Cocoa Association don't have no sense to develop that, the NIS board should put out a model to help these people. The people that managing the NIS board, I'm so disappointed in them, you wouldn't believe. And you know what is sad? The trade union have 2 representatives on this board. The Grenada Trade Union Council have 2 representatives on the NIS board. So these people must be seeking their own people's interests. Some of them, brothers and sisters, parents, are involved in farming, because 80% of Grenadians are directly or indirectly involved in the industry. We are our brother's keeper. Every day I beg and plead bright people that walking around with a briefcase of certificate in this country to help solve problems. What is wrong with the Cocoa Association and Nutmeg Association start to pay NIS for the farmers within a certain age group tomorrow? What is wrong with NIS developing a module? Tell them how they could do it. What is wrong with the Trade Union Council? Through the members asking NIS board to start to make sure they collect NIS from farmers. What is wrong with bus drivers and conductors in our country? paying NIS. We are complaining that government are placing too much money on social safety net program because it appears that we want the government to abandon the poor. But at the same time, the bus drivers and conductors are not paying NIS. At the same time, Cocoa Association and Nutmeg Association are not doing anything to make sure their members pay NIS. The Trade Union Council, the representative on NIS board, this thing don't come in across their mind at all. Now, we could solve our problems overnight, you know. All we have to do is to start to provoke, beg, plead with bright people to think. Grenada bright people, they believe that when you're intelligent, it makes you smart. You don't have to think. They believe they're in a new social status, so they don't have to think. As soon as these people start to think, our problems could be solved overnight. Now, why you have farmers that when the harsh economic crisis come, they retire, they have to go and beg the central government to give them some money. Then the trade unions, the private sector, the enemies of progress, and sometimes opposition, angry with government for the big social safety net package. And all these people should have been getting pension from NIS. You know? One person said, I find some supporters quick in becoming, no, this one I lost it. Yeah. Victor. One writer, Victor, they found Victor very caring and considerate, giving, and they wishing him all the best. Who is Victor? Somebody asking about some Victor, and they're saying he's caring and considerate, and they wish him all his best. Somebody could write who is Victor. You see, we must solve our problems. And as we speak about farming, what is it the farmers want? Sometimes the farmers don't know what they want. One of the things I believe farmers should do is start to pay NIS. Perhaps the government have to start to attack the Farmers Board, the Cocoa Association Board, NIS, for not making certain that farmers pay NIS. It is not hard. We have some farmers ask for crop insurance. This one might be a serious challenge, and I don't think I have the necessary acumen to go there. But some farmers done subsistence farming. I don't know which insurance is going to come and try to take up that responsibility. It might be extremely high risk. Farmers are provided with concession to purchase transport. Farmers have the extension service. Farmers are given labor support. The predial larceny situation in Grenada is dropping significantly, and I believe with more effort on cooperation and collaboration with the farmers, it could drop to a management level. The Cocoa Board could do much better in providing ready information for farmers when they have to purchase cocoa. Or maybe what you have to do, we have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Well, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, Mike.
I don't think the ratio, the stealing of farmers' produce, they have a problem.
You are a little low, we can't hear you.
Yeah, they have a problem with catching people. And when you catch them, the cases take very long. Sometimes they go to nothing.
But they say the incident has dropped by 20% and is down to 3% of the crime.
I'm talking, that is not total good figures.
Yeah, but we must use the statistics what they are.
Well, we're hearing that, but we can live by that. And too often you call the police station, the police haven't got a chance. The team haven't got transport. When you go
What they calling the police for transport for? To go and hold the thief?
To hold the thief or to get the
if you identify who the individual is, all the police need is the name of the individual.
Yeah, but this thing tie up, when they tie up, they take months, years.
But remember, we have a justice.
And nothing comes.
We have to be very careful that we don't encourage vengeance or vigilante justice. We have a justice system and we have to encourage it to work.
But it's not working. It's not working. Right? Some people case come up,
but
some who don't
come
up.
Do you believe
a lot of things happen?
But do you believe that if the farmers in a locality work closer together, they could drop the incidence of Friday larceny?
Yes, because some of the farmers are the pretty themselves, you know. Some of the farmers that are motive than
no ma'am.
Yeah. But
yes.
Again, you talk about farmers group and whatnot, and farmers paying NIS.
Yeah.
One of the big problem we have with that is once you start farmers organization and you put an executive, that executive become politicized.
But
When it be politicized, if the person on top is a NMP, he's seen for NMP. If it's a NDC, he's seen for NDC. And you have
this is why if you want the farmers to pay NIS, you know the names of the farmers. You have computer. You know the production per year. So the Cocoa Association could determine automatically what amount of NIS they should pay based upon the production. And the cocoa could pay lump sum to NIS while they collect the money on a monthly basis when they sell cocoa. And if there was a default of 3 months, the Cocoa Association could rest. This one don't want to pay, or this one move out or what. This thing is not hard.
No, that may not be hard. But we're talking about the groupings now, the grouping. I am saying that in all the persons representing farmers on the board, this present farmers representative, I think that he's doing a fairly good job.
Well, but so let us build on that.
Right, but the others before, they were politicized.
Well, those before gone already. Let us work with what they have now.
We work with what we have, but
and let us build on it.
We have to remember that as soon as they get their hands too much in the politics. It doesn't work. Mr. Clouden walked out of the parliament and
let us leave
about 2 or 3 occasions.
Well, the best thing to do is to...
And he supported the NDC.
Well, the best thing to do is to leave the past.
If he was supporting the NMP, he made us stay. So what we're saying, we don't want those kind of things.
Okay.
It shouldn't be, but it's happening in them organization.
Okay.
If you want to start politicizing it, the chairman or the chairperson wants to be up somewhere up in the front line of politics, and according to who in power, he hold back some statements, and those things are happening.
All right, brother, thank you.
Right.
You see, we cannot give up. One of the things is we always have to believe we could solve the problem. And Grenada is a small country with 2 main political parties, so it will be polarized. But once the farmers start to see concrete, continuous benefit coming to them, they would tend to walk in that direction. While farmers encourage the board members, you could be interested in politics, but pay attention to us. So Cocoa Association, you must inform us. Put up a roster when you're buying cocoa. Make certain cocoa farmers who qualify pays NIS. This thing is not hard to achieve. And somebody pointed out to me, they were speaking about Victor Philip. He said Victor Philip will be the new coming caretaker replacing Mr. Boson. So that person is Victor Philip. Okay. So I get your name now, Victor Philip. All right, thank you. You see, we could solve the problems that we have. The Cocoa Association and the Nutmeg Association make certain you start to pay NIS for farmers. This is not rocket science. You have computers. You could get a program. A child in a secondary school could work out a program for you. You know the names of the farmers. You could make the deduction when they pay cocoa, when they harvest cocoa. At the point, you could make the deductions. You determine whether you put them in the $1,000 bracket, so you know how much money they'll have to pay a month, how much you have to pay for cocoa, and then you make the deduction so these people pay NIS. If they already pay NIS, they provide the information for you. The computer system is there. That is not difficult, it's not hard. They don't know getting back pay already. Make certain the people pay NIS. So you, the Cocoa Association, might have to pay a portion or whatever scheme you come up with. We must be able to solve the problems that we have. And the farmers must sit down in block, discuss what you want. Because a lot of farmers don't know what they want. And then you hear the politician come in and make broad statements. And some of them doesn't mean anything. It don't mean nothing. When the politician come in power, you cannot hold them accountable because they did not promise you nothing. You know? So I believe that we could solve a lot of problems. We have to have the confidence in ourselves. We don't have to wait on Russia or United States or England to solve the problems in Grenada. We have people in Grenada. They're very qualified, but we have to encourage them to think. They're not thinking. They're not problem-solving oriented. And we could change that. Farmers could sit down with their children in their house. Some of you have bright children. Encourage the children to hold discussion, tell them what is the issue, and encourage them to help you. Some of them could just take their phone and get information from you and assist you. Grenada is a unique, beautiful country where we have the most landowners in the region. Jamaica, Trinidad, St. Vincent, they watch with Grenada with pride because the majority of Grenadians own their lands. Nobody can tell them what to plant. If they want to plant sauersup, they plant in sauersup. And if they want to plant bamboo and balijay, they plant in that. Nobody can tell them that. Other countries in the Caribbean cannot do that. So we want to encourage you with this new birth. You know, Easter time is a new beginning. So we take a total different approach towards agriculture. Let us write down on one paper what you have. Write down what you want and discuss it in your home. Discuss it with other farmers. And then maybe sometimes when you go and you see the minister, you know exactly what you want. Thank you for participating in our program today on Target.